Welcome back, General Hospital fans. Today, we dive into the tangled web of relationships, betrayals, and shocking revelations unraveling in Port Charles. With secrets surfacing and alliances shifting, the drama is more intense than ever. Will love triumph, or will deception tear lives apart? Let's explore the latest turmoil, from Rick Lansing's dire warning to Ava Jerome's foiled schemes. Grab your popcorn because Port Charles is about to explode with tension, romance, and scandal. Rick Lansing's dire warning: is Elizabeth Baldwin in grave danger? Rick Lansing is a man who has seen the dark underbelly of Port Charles up close, and he knows a dangerous man when he sees one. This time, his instincts are screaming about none other than Cyrus Renault. Warned or not, he's a dangerous man, Rick insists, his voice laced with urgency. He knows what Cyrus is capable of: manipulation, extortion, and ruthless violence. But why is Rick suddenly so concerned? Elizabeth Baldwin has somehow landed in the crosshairs of this criminal mastermind. What did she do to attract Cyrus' attention? Could it be that she overheard something she wasn't supposed to? Or has she unknowingly gotten involved in a scheme that goes far deeper than she realizes? Elizabeth has always been resilient, but Rick fears she may be walking straight into a trap. Will she heed his warning, or will she dismiss it as paranoia? With the walls closing in, she may not have much time before she finds herself in a situation she can't escape. Jocelyn Jack seeks redemption, a regretful apology? Elsewhere in Port Charles, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself reflecting on her recent actions. She's never been one to hold back, but sometimes, her bluntness causes unintended harm. Now, she's looking to make things right, but the question remains: who is on the receiving end of her apology? One possibility is Willow Corinthos. Joss put Willow on blast not too long ago, and the weight of her words may have finally caught up with her. Could she be trying to mend fences, realizing she was too harsh? Or could Jocelyn's apology be connected to the ever-dangerous Cyrus Renault? Did she let something slip, something that put someone else in danger? If that's the case, her regret might not be enough to undo the damage already done. Will the person she seeks forgiveness from be willing to accept her apology? Or will Joss find that some wounds can't be easily healed? Sasha Gilmore Corbin's breaking point: a fight for independence. Sasha Gilmore Corbin has spent much of her recent past being scrutinized, analyzed, and treated as if she's fragile. But enough is enough. When she arrives at what she thinks is a simple meeting, she's blindsided by Cody Bell and Felicia Scorpio, both waiting for her with concerned expressions. Sasha immediately sees the situation for what it is: another intervention, another attempt to control her choices. But this time, she refuses to entertain it. "I'm done with this," Sasha snaps, her frustration boiling over. "I don't need saving, I don't need advice, and I don't need people constantly telling me what's best for me." Cody, of course, only wants to help, but will Sasha's anger push him away for good? Is her independence truly a sign of strength, or is she about to make a mistake she can't come back from? With emotions running high, Sasha's future hangs in the balance. Will she finally find the peace she's been seeking, or is she heading down a dangerous path? Jason Morgan vs. Tracy Quartermaine: a family feud escalates. Fresh off his return from Germany, Jason Morgan is in for a rude awakening. Tracy Quartermaine wastes no time in delivering a bombshell revelation. Drew Quartermaine has publicly accused him of being the father of Sasha's child. Jason is stunned. "That's ridiculous," he states flatly. "Why would anyone believe that?" Tracy raises an eyebrow. "Well, when a Quartermaine says something, people tend to listen." Jason immediately shuts down the accusation, but Tracy is far from convinced. If Jason isn't the father, then who is? The wheels in her head start turning, and soon, she lands on a far more scandalous possibility: Michael Corinthos. If Michael is indeed the father, this revelation could have catastrophic consequences. Tracy may push Jason to take the fall in order to protect Michael's custody of his children. But will Jason really be willing to sacrifice his reputation for the sake of a lie? Or will he fight back against the web of deception being spun around him? Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor, a Valentine's Day misunderstanding over in the romance department. Trina Robinson is about to have a Valentine's Day that takes an unexpected turn. When she agrees to spend the evening with Kai Taylor, she assumes it's just a friendly outing. Kai, however, sees it as something more, a romantic opportunity. The differing expectations create an awkward situation. As the evening unfolds, it becomes increasingly clear that Kai has deeper feelings than Trina anticipated. Will this surprise lead to an unexpected love story? Or will Trina gently set the record straight, making it clear that she's not ready for something serious? One thing is certain, Trina's love life is as complicated as ever. Carly Spencer and Nina Reeves, a dangerous alliance. Carly Spencer and Nina Reeves teaming up may seem like a shocking turn of events, but in Port Charles, strange bedfellows are nothing new. This time, their common goal is simple: destroy Drew and Willow's budding relationship. Nina has already hinted at finding a way into Drew's house, a move that raises serious ethical questions. Carly, never one to shy away from a challenge, makes a bold vow to Nina: if they're going to do this, they need to do it right. But can these two women really trust each other? Their alliance is fragile at best, and if either of them makes the wrong move, it could come crumbling down. What are they willing to risk in the name of revenge? Willow Corinthos' ultimate decision. A love triangle intensifies at the center of it all is Willow Corinthos, who finds herself at a crossroads. She sits in Martin Gray's office, the divorce papers in front of her. There's still time to change your mind, Martin reminds her. Does she really want to walk away from Michael Corinthos forever? Part of her will always love him, but can she truly forgive everything that's happened? Then, there's Drew Quartermain. If Willow signs the divorce papers, Drew may seize the opportunity to invite her into his home and his life. Is she ready for that? As she hesitates, one thing becomes clear: no matter what she chooses, there will be consequences. Christina Corinthos Davis versus Ava Jerome, a clash of wills rounding out the chaos. Christina Corinthos Davis is about to throw a wrench into Ava Jerome's latest scheme. Where do you think you're going? Christina demands, blocking Ava's path. Ava, caught off guard, tries to play it off. But Christina isn't buying it. Will Christina's interference force Ava to rethink her plan? Or will Ava find a way to outmaneuver her, as she so often does? One thing is certain: Christina isn't backing down, and Ava's carefully laid plans might be on the verge of falling apart. Conclusion: the storm is just beginning. Port Charles is a powder keg, ready to explode. With betrayals lurking in the shadows, love triangles heating up, and alliances shifting like sand, the drama is only getting started. Will Willow make a decision that changes everything? Can Jason navigate the storm surrounding him? And just how far will Carly and Nina go in their quest for control? Next, we bring you an action-packed update from Port Charles, where secrets are unraveling, alliances are shifting, and unexpected confrontations are stirring the pot. From Lulu Spencer's unyielding search for her daughter to Carly Corinthos' moral dilemma, each storyline is becoming more complex. What will happen when past choices come back to haunt those involved? Buckle up, because things are about to get even more dramatic. Lulu Spencer's unorthodox search for Charlotte Cassadine. Lulu Spencer has always been relentless when it comes to protecting her family, and her determination to find her missing daughter, Charlotte Cassadine, is no exception. Over coffee at Bobby's, she shares new information with Laura Collins. Lulu recently spoke to Jack, a contact who confirmed that Valentine Cassadine was last seen in Germany before slipping through the cracks and disappearing without a trace. Rather than relying solely on the WSB, Lulu is taking matters into her own hands. With Valentine being an equestrian enthusiast, Lulu is combing through social media, tracking famous riders, and following elite stables across Europe. She suspects that if Charlotte is hiding under a false identity, she may still be following equestrian content, a potential breadcrumb leading to her whereabouts. Laura, ever the supportive mother, sees the merit in this approach. This could be the lead we've been waiting for, she says, nodding in approval. But before they can discuss it further, Laura's phone buzzes. The name flashing on the screen? Drew Kane. With a sense of urgency, Laura tells Lulu that she must meet with Drew, leaving her daughter with a few parting words. I'm proud of you, Lulu. Keep going. Cyrus Renault, a man with a mission and a mountain of obstacles over at Turning Woods. Cyrus Renault arrives with an air of entitlement, expecting to visit a patient named Mrs. Brown. However, his plans quickly hit a roadblock. Gail, a nurse he has encountered before, informs him that he can't see any patients until he speaks with the facility's director, Ferner. Frustrated but not deterred, Cyrus demands a meeting with Ferner, hoping to smooth things over. Unfortunately for him, the news isn't good. Ferner bluntly states that due to a complaint from Mayor Laura Collins about his unauthorized visits to Lulu Spencer, his access to patients has been completely revoked, not just at Turning Woods, but also at General Hospital. Cyrus is livid. I help these people. They need me, he growls, barely concealing his frustration. But Ferner stands firm, refusing to budge. Adding insult to injury, Cyrus had overheard a nurse talking to Elizabeth Baldwin earlier. He now suspects that Elizabeth played a role in spreading these lies about him, further fueling his anger. With doors closing around him, will Cyrus find a way to reclaim his influence? Or is he finally losing his grip on Port Charles? Elizabeth Baldwin, a warm welcome and a chilling reality back at General Hospital. Willow Corinthos welcomes Elizabeth Baldwin back to work, as does Portia Robinson. However, the warm reunion is quickly overshadowed by an urgent conversation. Portia pulls Elizabeth aside into her office, explaining that while she never believed Elizabeth was guilty of harming patients, the hospital had no choice but to suspend her while the investigation unfolded. Elizabeth, still anxious about the matter, asks if there are any updates. Portia shakes her head grimly. The police have taken over now, and unfortunately, there isn't much more I can tell you. However, she does reveal one chilling detail: there have been no additional deaths by digitalis poisoning beyond the 3 confirmed victims, Sam McCall, Dex Heller, and an elderly woman from last fall. Elizabeth exhales slowly, realizing that while the immediate danger seems to have subsided, the killer is still out there. I just hope they stop them before they strike again, she murmurs. As Elizabeth steps out of the office, the weight of her return settles over her. She may be back at work, but the darkness that temporarily removed her hasn't vanished. It's simply lurking in the shadows, waiting. Lucas Jones' redemption and reconciliation. Later in the day, Lucas Jones approaches Willow at the hospital, needing a favor. Could you rush these labs for me? He asks, his tone softer than usual. Willow, ever professional, nods. Of course. Anything else? A pause. Then, Lucas sighs. Yeah, actually. I owe you an apology. Willow looks up, surprised. Lucas continues, explaining that his previous judgmental stance toward her was unfair. He acknowledges that his harsh words, especially during Christmas, were misplaced, and he deeply regrets how he handled things. Willow, visibly moved, offers a small smile. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Lucas then makes another surprising gesture. Look, if you or the kids ever need anything, no strings attached, I'm here. Family is family. With those words, he walks away, leaving Willow to process the unexpected kindness. Could this be the beginning of a stronger bond between them? Carly Corinthos, torn between temptation and conscience and a twist that could shake the very foundation of Port Charles, Carly Corinthos finds herself at a crossroads. She drops by the hospital to speak with Lucas, seeking advice on an issue that has been weighing on her mind. Nina called me, she reveals, eyes filled with uncertainty. I think she's going to ask me to help her break up Willow and Drew. Lucas listens carefully as Carly confesses her internal conflict. She's tempted more than she'd like to admit. After all, her recent clash with Drew didn't go as planned, and she can't shake the feeling that helping Nina could be her way of regaining some control. Lucas, however, doesn't hesitate in his response. If your goal is to stop escalating conflict, working with Nina is the last thing you should do. He reminds her of his own experience. How his blow-up at Willow only pushed her further into Drew's arms. He believes Carly's actions may have had the same effect, and if she truly wants to prevent things from getting worse, she needs to take a step back. Carly listens, absorbing his words. But whether she follows his advice or allows her emotions to drive her decisions remains to be seen. Final thoughts: what happens next? With tensions brewing in every corner of Port Charles, the stakes have never been higher. Will Lulu's unconventional social media investigation lead her to Charlotte, or is she grasping at straws? Has Cyrus Renaud truly lost his grip on the hospital, or will he find a way to worm his way back in? Will Elizabeth's return to General Hospital put her in further danger, or is the worst behind her? Can Lucas' apology pave the way for a new understanding with Willow, or will old wounds linger? Will Carly listen to Lucas' warning, or will her grudge against Drew push her into an uneasy alliance with Nina? Next, we unravel some of the most intense and gripping developments in Port Charles. With unexpected confrontations, shocking medical diagnoses, and secret schemes in motion, the drama continues to build. From Sonny Corinthos' troubling health news to Nina Reeves' latest desperate attempt to interfere in Willow's life, there's no shortage of jaw-dropping moments. Stay tuned as we break down all the intrigue, power plays, and hidden agendas shaping the future of Port Charles. Sonny Corinthos' life-altering diagnosis and the threat lurking in the shadows under the bright Los Angeles sun, Sonny Corinthos finds himself facing a storm he never anticipated. In the waiting room of a doctor's office, he sits beside Natalia Ramirez, his usual confidence replaced by a rare flicker of uncertainty. Natalia, ever perceptive, presses him about whether he plans to tell his children about his heart condition. Sonny shakes his head. I can't let them worry. And I sure as hell can't give my enemies a reason to think I'm weak. His words are defiant, but even he can't deny the reality of the situation. When a nurse steps out and calls his name, he finally stands, nodding at Natalia. Come with me. He may not admit it, but having someone by his side makes it easier. Moments later, the news is delivered: a pacemaker is necessary. The doctor is clear: this isn't something Sonny can afford to put off for long. Natalia, exasperated, insists, you need to take this seriously. But Sonny, ever the strategist, has other priorities. First, I find out who tried to kill me. Then, I'll deal with my heart. As the two exit the clinic, they are unaware that danger is already closing in. A man dressed in black discreetly tails them, Jen's hired hitman, the same one who tried to eliminate Isaiah at the hospital. Sonny may be worried about his health, but it's what he doesn't see coming that could prove to be the real threat. A dangerous game, Laura Collins versus Jens. Meanwhile, at Cafe Sherry, Drew Kane is deep in conversation with a man who may have more power than he lets on. Jens. A shipper by trade, Jens is intrigued by the stalled Esplanade project and sees an opportunity to make his mark on the town. However, as the discussion unfolds, Jens subtly shifts the conversation to Sonny Corinthos. Could Sonny be behind the delay, he asks, eyes sharp with curiosity. Drew, firm and unwavering, shakes his head. Sonny has nothing to do with this. But Jens isn't satisfied. He floats an idea: seizing Pier 55 under eminent domain. It's a bold suggestion, one that could not only push Sonny out but also secure a prime location for the Esplanade. Even more enticing, Jens offers to make a hefty financial contribution to cover the costs. Before Drew can fully process the implications, an unexpected visitor arrives: Laura Collins. She freezes at the sight of Jens, her expression immediately darkening. You? She exclaims, unable to mask her disgust. Drew looks between them, confused. You two know each other? Laura's response is sharp. Jens is the man who held my son captive in Somalia. A tense silence follows before Jens, ever the master manipulator, smirks. Lucky and I have different versions of what happened. Someone less reasonable than me would sue you for defamation, Mayor Collins. That wouldn't reflect well on your city. His words are a warning, a reminder of his power. But Laura, ever the strategist, doesn't back down. Why don't you tell me what exactly you're discussing with Drew? Jen smiles, knowing he has drawn Laura into his game. I'm just a businessman trying to contribute to this beautiful city. But Laura isn't fooled. She knows that wherever Jens is involved, trouble is sure to follow. Nina Reeves' desperate plan to break up Willow and Drew at Crimson. Nina Reeves sits across from Maxie Jones, an eager yet calculated expression on her face. She slides 2 coveted fashion winter formal tickets across the desk. Maxie gasps. These are impossible to get. So, what do you need from me? Nina leans forward. Advice. I need to figure out how to get Carly to help me break up Drew and Willow. Maxie blinks, taken aback. Willow is an adult, Nina. She makes her own choices. And honestly, I don't think Drew is bad for her. But Nina is relentless. He's already hurt her by leading her into making the wrong choices. I'm just relieved he's still living in a hotel. If he had a house, he'd probably move Willow and the kids in with him already. Maxie hesitates for a moment before revealing a bombshell. Drew is buying a house. Nina's breath catches. What? He asked me to help find a decorator, Maxie continues. You're getting worked up over something that hasn't even happened yet. But Nina sees this as a crisis in the making. Her mind races as she pleads with Maxie, you have to stall him. Give Carly and me time to stop this before it's too late. Maxie crosses her arms, narrowing her gaze. Is this really about Drew being bad for Willow? Or are you just bitter that Willow is with the man you once wanted? For the first time, Nina falters. Maxie has struck a nerve. But rather than admitting the truth, Nina doubles down. All I care about is what's best for Willow, she insists. But deep down, even she isn't sure if that's true.